Welcome back, everybody. Stogie the Bear here, and I want to talk today about TrackIR. What is it and what can it do for you? Well, TrackIR, if you notice these small movements on my screen, it looks kind of like we are in the driver's seat. For real. Looking around. Yep, that's right. So TrackIR is exactly what it says it is. It is tracking infrared, and it comes with an infrared camera that is mounted on top of mine. Is specifically mounted on top of my monitor. I think there's other ways you can mount it, but mine's on top of my monitor. And with the particular version that I have, it has a little metal clip that has 3 little reflectors on it, and it mounts to my hat. So I do have to wear a hat while I'm playing, which doesn't really bother me too much because I wear a hat all the time anyway. But some people have said they don't like that so much because they have to wear a hat. There is another version. I think it clips onto the side of maybe your headphones or something of that nature, and it's on the side, so it'll have 3 reflectors on the side of your head. Anyway, so it's tracking those 3 little squares and determining and putting the input in the game as to where your head is turning. Me personally, I think I like the hat version because I've seen, before I purchased it, I saw some folks were talking about if you get it at the wrong angle, then it can't see all 3 sensors at one time, and if it can't, then it will just stop. So you obviously don't want it to do that while you're in game. You know, whether you're driving a 80,000-pound semi or doing some sort of first-person shooter. I'm pretty sure it works with several games, and I'm going to take you into the software here in just a second. But I will tell you one thing. If you have a ring on and it has some sort of gem in it, and from personal experience, if you put your hand in front of that tracking camera, it will register and move. We found that out. It was kind of funny. My wife was actually driving, and I had reached across in front of her, and my ring, I guess, reflected the infrared signal, and it took her camera and pushed it off way behind her, so she drove straight into a wall and over a fence. It was really hilarious. Anyway, that being aside, I want to pause this. There we go. And let's go into the TrackIR settings. Okay, so as you can see, my head's moving back and forth. Now I had to go through a lot of settings to do this, and this is why I want to make this video. I want to kind of just set this up again. I had it set up before, but I've reformatted my computer, so I had to go back and do everything else again. I upgraded my hard drive for these videos, but as you can see, it's tracking my left and right movement. It is not tracking my up and down very much. I'm having to move my head a lot before it registers up or down. And I did that on purpose. This is a setting that I made specifically for American Truck Simulator because I really don't want you guys to have to sit there and watch every movement I make on my head up and down, or when I scratch my glasses or move my glasses or just moving around or looking around. It can be very, very busy tracking every single inch of your face, movement. So what I've done is gone in to do some settings. Let me move this over so you can see that. Okay, so when you first get TrackIR, it's specifically for American Truck Simulator. You will have to do a couple of things before you're able to play it. It's not a direct plug and play for American Truck Simulator, and it may be that way for other games. But it's very simple. You go up here to this little gear here, where it says TrackIR options on the top left, and I don't have my mouse tracker on, I apologize, but you just go right up there, and you'll click that. And you want to make sure that check for game list updates is checked and check for software updates is also checked. And we'll hit OK. And then we'll go back to that and wait, where's it at? Not that. Oh, come on. Hit the wheel. And we want to go ahead and check. I'm not going to do it now because I'm actually in game. But you want to actively check for game updates and then check for software updates. If you've just purchased this and downloaded it, your software most likely is going to be up to date because you just downloaded it. But this right here, so American Truck Simulator ATS did not work for me when I first brought it up, and I had to come here to check for game updates. And the way you find out if it's going to work is you go down here to titles. You can see these three: profiles, titles, and camera. You click on titles, and here you see American Truck Simulator right here. Now, this was not in the list before I checked for game updates. So I tried to make it work. I tried to go into profiles and do things. It will not work. You have to check for updates. Come here. Once you see it in here, it will then work. Well, that's the general skinny of it. You could basically be done at that point. But I want to show you how I have set this up because I don't like the up and down motion. I want to use TrackIR specifically to look left and to look right when crossing intersections or turning or looking at mirrors. That's really one of the biggest things is the mirrors. I get it. You can push F2 and you can put up the two little fake mirrors or digital mirrors and have that and never have to look aside. But the game is about immersion and it's a simulator, right? So if you can simulate as much as you possibly can, then why not? So TrackIR allows you to do that where you actually have to look a little bit to the left and look a little bit to the right. And as you can see, my head is moving over on the right three cameras. It's showing you that 3D image basically of that guy's much better looking than I am, but you can see where his head is moving or my head is moving back and forth. Now look at this. You also can move it in and out. Let's hit my mic, sorry. You can go forwards and backwards, but you can also go left and right. That's the X and Y axis by leaning. So now take that and put it into something like Flight Simulator or other games where you can actually look up and down and all around, like in a cockpit. Man, this thing is going to be great. And I haven't been playing very many flight games here lately, but I am looking forward to getting into that, especially with this TrackIR, because that was one of my things on a controller or keyboard. I mean, to look behind you, see how easy that is? I can look behind me, but I can still see the screen. And this profile is actually, when you come over here to profiles, this is from the smooth. So if you check that, if you click profiles here, there's a smooth, one, flying, driving, and default. You can try to figure out which one of those you like. I just went with the smooth because it cuts down on the quickness of it, and I don't want to disrupt the default. So what I did is I hit copy right here, the little 2 pages just to the right of exclusive. So it allowed me to name it ATS Smooth. So that created a duplicate of Smooth. So once I had it copied, and I'm gonna click exclusive because I want it to be like this all the time. Maybe if I get other games going, I believe it obviously checks the game that's playing, so it applies that. But with tabbing in and out a lot, I've noticed it kind of forgets what it's on. So you just click that exclusive button and it will stay on there. So the setting that I wanted to cut out was the up and down, right? I want to show you what this looks like. So you can see I move my head. My head's actually almost straight up before I get to here. And going down, I mean, I'm looking straight down before it goes down. But let me show you what happens if you go to the regular smooth setting. Alright, so now look at this. This is registering my head turning, looking up, looking down. I mean, it is tracking everything. Okay? And when you're in the truck, all that motion and all that movement is flying around. And I'll show you, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so, and you guys know I keep my stability way low on my truck, so when I come back and I'm on 2 wheels or 10 wheels. But see, all this movement is very confusing, and for you guys to be watching it on a video, and you're seeing me look down and up, and if I scratch my face, I'm looking over here, I want to look at the TV, whatever I'm doing, this is a lot of movement. As a viewer, watching other people's content, this is a ton of movement, up and down, back and forth. That's a lot. So I choose to cut all that out. And the way I did that is I took the smooth, and again I copied it and made a new profile, and you can take this and run with it and do it on several different games or applications. So what I did was I took the profile here where it says I used smooth, and I went to copy, which is here, the 2 pages. You hit copy and you'll change the name. I changed mine to ATS smooth. I'm not gonna make another one, but so that then turned into here. So now I have the ATS smooth, and what you want to look at is these axes, however you say it. Here, this says yaw, pitch, roll, X, Y, and Z. And all of these are actually represented at the same time in this graph. So what we want to do is turn these off, except for the one we want to work with. So if we uncheck pitch, roll, X, Y, and Z, now we notice the head tracker over here, it is staying on that X line, and it is not seeing anything else but that. What that is yaw. So that's me turning my head left and right. And before you ask or wonder what the X is, let's select the X here and uncheck yaw. Now it is not registering my head turning left and right, but it is registering my head moving left and right, as you can hear with the camera there, or with the recorder. So that's what the X-axis is. So let's go back to yaw. And with this particular setup, the smooth was good, but I did want a little bit of a dead zone in the middle. So this is your first point here. And what I did is I just dragged that down to the 0 mark. That's on 0. And this yellow line is the one that is actually what you'll be working with. You see mine has a green. The green is there because I have the smooth right here changed, or actually it's the speed. I have the speed of it. There you go. See, if I run the speed up, if the speed is on 1 and there's no alteration from it, then that's your line. But I like mine to be a little bit slower, so I go down to 0.5. But while you're adjusting it, I would leave it on 1 while you're getting it set up. So I pulled this center point. This is the beginning 0. And if in case you don't see it anywhere, you can press F12 to 0 your deal. Alright, so some reason mine's not working, probably because I remapped that key to something else. So F12 is what you would use to center that. Now, once you have that centered, what this was, let's take a look at what it was. So we go, let's see, here's flying, here's smooth. And what I did is I brought these down. You just click and drag them down to where it looks like this. And it just slowed it down. And actually, I didn't change the yaw at all. What I did change, what I did change was the pitch. So we want to turn pitch on, but we also have to go here and select pitch. Now you see this, where I flatten this out? So now you have a 0, you have a dead zone here. And that's up and down. Notice on the grid over here, that's all it's reading is up and down. And see that cursor moving? It's not registering until I go 15 degrees up. It's not picking up. See that? And same with going down, because they're mirrored. And that's what this mirror check mark is. If you move one, it'll go down. Now I have done some playing with the fact that your left mirror is closer, so you don't have to move your head as much. So you can uncheck this mirror on the yaw. You can uncheck the mirror and maybe not have this one jump as fast, but to be honest with you, I think the default smooth on the yaw is good where it's at. So we made our dead zone here. I do want to be able to look up and down a little bit, but my everyday little head shakes and my head tilt and all that stuff, I don't want y'all to have to see that. So I cut that out. And then you would go to roll. But remember, you've got to change it to here, roll as well. Now roll is the twisting, and I've got my head all the way twisted over. And then all the way, I don't even think, yeah, all the way, as twisted as much as I can before it actually picks up over here. See, it's registering, but it's not turning the camera because I have them zeroed out. I just pulled those dots down to the 0. So then let's move to the x-axis. Now, the x-axis, and don't forget to change it here to display. The x-axis, I do want it to show a little bit because you can lean over a little bit. I think that's kind of cool because you can, like if I lean over on the arm of my chair, I'm sitting here now like this. And that actually lets me see this left mirror without actually looking over at it. So I still want to keep that a little bit. So what I did is I just flattened it out and also brought it down to a dead zone of 0. It actually starts at about 1, I think. So it's a little more sensitive. But I put the dead at 0 and then came up straight. And then let's go to our next one, to the Y. Get it on the graph. Now the Y is coming forward and back. This is like moving the head, oh no, I'm sorry, up and down. The Y is the up and down. So if you're too high in your seat, you're sitting like this, if I slump down, I'm actually pulling it down, right? So I just wanted to slow this one down. I didn't want to take it away, so I actually just brought the values down a little bit and curved them back out. And then on the Z, show that on the representation. And if you haven't figured this out, the motion adjustment selection here, this is changing what's displayed on the grid, okay? And this selection here is changing what is displayed down in the graph. So on the Z axis, which would be the forward and back, the in and out, I don't think I actually changed it. If I did, I just brought it down to kind of look at what it is, because that's kind of cool. You can go in and out to see that. And then once you get that done, just make sure you save it and you're good to go. And that's set up. Everything else, I haven't had to change anything. Here's the Pro Clip tracker. That's the other version. I have the hat, the track clip that clips onto the hat. The other thing I did do is default your smoothness is down here about 10. I moved it up to 50 just because I don't want to see all the jerks and jitters. And I take my speed now that I've got it set to where I want, and we'll turn all these back on and we'll go back to the yaw. Now that I have all of these inputs, see, it doesn't go up and down, it's really just kind of following left and right mostly. Now that I have all that set up, I want to turn the speed down. This is after you get in the game. Play with it for a little while and figure out, oh man, that's still moving so fast. So bring it down. I like 0.4 or 0.5, and it just kind of slows it down a little bit so it's not jumping. You don't get kind of that dizzy sensation. And then we go back into the game and see if it stayed. And there you go. Actually, it's a little slow, so I'll probably go back up with it. But anyway, that's it. That's how you set up TrackIR. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you don't mind, like, comment, subscribe if this was helpful for you. and give me suggestions on what else you'd like to see. Thank y'all so much, and I'll be out.